What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a ton of great plays for everyone in today's video, a lot of important news with Palantir, and some really hot stocks for today. But before we get into today's video, consider subscribing to our new live trading channel. The link is in the description down below. Tom and I have been going live every single morning at open. Feel free to join us, ask questions. It's really relaxed, and feel free to join. The link will be in the description down below. We're live at market open every single day. But for today's video, we're going to be talking a lot about Palantir. At the end of the video, we have a $6.7 million trade, and we also have some news with Dish and Amazon. So we have a lot of great plays for today's video. Make sure to stick around to the end. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. But let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, the biggest stuff is definitely Palantir today. They had a big run up today off support, and they have a pretty good support here around $21. And man, we've been hearing a lot about Cathie Wood buying up Palantir lately as well. They had a new deal today with Ringier AG where they announced that they're going to renew their strategic partnership to provide Ringier with software to pretty much further its digital transformation and accelerate its shift to a digital first global media company. And that's a pretty big deal for Ringier, but we can see it made Palantir stock really rip up today. And on the daily chart, it has a great support here at $21. I'm not surprised that Cathie Wood has been buying up Palantir as it gets lower and lower towards that support. And it just looks fantastic on a daily chart. Let's go intraday to the 5-day, 15-minute. We can see how much this stock really ran today once it hit $21 yesterday. And it's just been a fantastic pickup here at this support. And I praise Cathie Wood for being very smart here and grabbing this right before the deal. And a lot of people might think she had some insider information on that. And I personally disagree. I think she might have just been buying at support and buying at lows.
Well, Cathie Wood kind of got burned with Netflix this week, but at least Palantir can make up for it a little bit. But Tom, like you have on the chart pulled up, this is a chart of ARK or Cathie Wood's involvement with Palantir, you can say. We could see yesterday they scooped up they scooped up a little over 1 million shares of Palantir. So we could see the more Palantir falls, the more Cathie Wood buys. So overall, it's pretty cool to see this chart. It's a pretty cool website, cathysark.com. But overall, I like Palantir for the long term, and even for the short term, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just a very interesting website to see what's going on there with ARK. But yeah, I mean, I love it off that support. I mean, it's just such a great buy. I actually drew some green circles here on my chart just to show. I mean, it hit support all the way back here in November. It hit it all the way in March, and then it also hit it in April twice. So we're seeing a lot of movement out of Palantir off this support. It does have an upper resistance to this channel around 27.25 or 27.30. So watch out for that. But we are pretty far away from that. And the way Palantir runs with this deal, I would not be surprised at all if they ran up tomorrow. And I might actually call this one out in our Discord.
Sounds great. So I heard that Dish had a pretty big deal with Amazon. What's going on there?
Yeah, this is actually a big deal for Dish, and this has to do with a lot of the 5G stuff going on right now, but it made Dish rise actually 11%, and Dish stock jumped after announcing an Amazon cloud deal for the 5G build out. And Dish said that it will start running a cloud-based 5G network in Las Vegas later this year, drawing on Amazon's cloud infrastructure. And Dish is attempting to become the fourth national wireless player behind T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T, in addition to distributing video. And the deal with Amazon is an essential piece of Dish's plan to develop a network from scratch that can more efficiently deliver more reliable 5G speeds than its legacy competition like AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. So it's interesting to see that Dish is trying to get into the phone game almost. They're going to be competing with T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T, as that pointed out, and that was CNBC that reported this, by the way. But Dish is actually looking pretty good. They're actually pretty low right now. They were hitting highs around $70 or $80 a few years ago in 2015, and it looks like they might actually start be heading back up in that direction.
Sounds great. So we all know anything with 5G, and then especially Amazon, it's pretty good news. So I guess that kind of explains why Dish stock is up around 11% today. But I want to talk more about the cruise lines and the airlines. So NCLH and just a bunch of other cruise lines and airlines were down yesterday, but NCLH is up about 10% today. What's going on?
Yeah, these are huge moves. They just let a whole pop back up. We saw all these stocks that are recovering, like NCLH, UAL, which are the airlines, banks, even JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. They all were rising today. We saw NCLH go up off the 100 SMA, which was fantastic. Let's go check out UAL. Drops below support over during this week and had a pretty nasty fall. Once again, hits the purple 100 SMA and then pops right back up. Let's go check out CCL. I think it's the same. Yeah, it's just about at the 100 SMA, but they actually bounced off the 25 support, which was a pretty good support there for them. Very solid in the past, actually. And then they bounced back up. So there's a lot of solid plays on these stocks that are recovering. And I know that we've been talking about them quite a bit the past few days, and they were taking a pretty steep dip, but it looks like they're bouncing off support. And I would not be surprised if we saw a continuation out of some of these stocks tomorrow. I mean, we're seeing good moves out of the SPY and the Dow as well. So hopefully it can just keep up this recovery.
Sounds great. Well, if you guys want to trade with Tom and I every single day trades, swing trades, and access to our bots, you can click the first link in the description down below for about $40 off. We had a pretty awesome week so far. Some nice gains on Pfizer, Oracle, Facebook. DraftKings was an amazing play by the bot today. We have a ton of different bots, unusual options activity, day trade, swing trading, you name it. Feel free to join. It's a monthly subscription, and you can cancel at any time. And there's a coupon code in the description down below. But let's get right into our member of the day and the momentum plays. So today's member of the day, we have Law. So huge shout out, Law. Thanks for being a great member of the community and asking great questions. And just thanks for being a part of the community. You're definitely an asset to the Discord. But now let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we are looking at Plug. So PLUG.
Yeah, and with Plug, we're going to be looking at this one to go up again tomorrow. It just passed above 27 as the market closed, but make it break above 27.20 tomorrow morning.
All right, and then we have a NIO, N-I-O.
Yep, with NIO, go ahead and make this one break once again to the upside above $39.
All right, and then we have Baidu, which also had a pretty good day.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised to see that with some of these Chinese stocks, but make them break above 215, and it's interesting to see Baidu and Baba kind of coming back to the upside.
Yeah, so over like the past couple months, we saw a lot of like Chinese stocks really fall, like GSX. That was definitely one of them. IQ was another one. Even JD a little bit. So it's nice to see them popping back up. I know GSX was also a pretty solid play by the bot. In the past week, this thing went from like $23 to highs of like almost like just under 30. So they're definitely popping back up, which is great to see. And for Plug, NIO, and Baidu, we are eyeing these plays for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they can break above the levels Tom listed. But let's get right into the $6.7 million trade for this Friday. We are looking at the Square 250 strike calls that expired this Friday, April 23rd. Looking at Square, it was pretty flat today, and right now it's right around 245. So I'm gonna have to say I'm neutral on it. There's not a ton of upwards momentum with Square right now. It really looks like these are covered calls in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to think so too. It's not looking too good for Square. They were actually pretty flat today at the end of the day, while a lot of other stocks were going up. So it's just not a good sign. And they're kind of in that kind of financial sector. So they don't really move with the overall market. I mean, they do sometimes, but they're just not totally correlated. And it seems like lately they've had a big deal with Bitcoin and stuff like that. So definitely watch out, because I've heard people saying lately that Square has been moving and has had some correlation with Bitcoin. So definitely watch out. It doesn't have a complete correlation, of course, but it definitely impacts it a little bit.
Sounds good. Well, let's get right into our questions from the previous episode. With the first question, we have A saying, hey guys, can you talk about SSL? So let's take a look at SSL. I was looking at this one a little bit. The options are not liquid. Yeah, they're not really liquid at all, to be honest. Right now, they are right around $17, which acted as a pretty strong resistance. In the past, they have a pretty strong resistance around like $19 to $20. I'm not a huge fan of this company. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan either. On the daily chart, we can see how much gaps it has. It has a lot of gap ups and gap downs. The volume isn't too strong on it either. And whenever I go look at the 5-day, 15-minute chart, I mean, it does have a lot of movement like it did today, for example, but overall, it's just not the best mover for me, and it does like to run intraday, but other than that, it's kind of unpredictable. It has like these big gaps up and down, and it's just pretty unpredictable, I think, to trade. But if you know something fundamentally about them, then they could be pretty good. But overall, I just don't think the chart looks too good.
Sounds good. And then we have Royal saying, can you review ATUS? So this one looks pretty decent. It retested that support around 32 2 weeks ago. Now it's starting to pop back up towards resistance at 36. They have highs at 38.30. So I think it looks pretty decent. One thing to watch out for is that they have earnings next week. So that can definitely be a really good or really bad event. I'm not sure if you're holding this stock for the long term or just looking for a short like swing trade or something like that. But I think it looks pretty decent for the short term. And, just be careful of that earnings release.
100%. And it just looks like a pretty good play, actually. It's starting to break up, but like you said, just watch out for earnings. Definitely watch out for $38 if it keeps rising.
Sounds great. And then we have Yi saying, is ACB the next short squeeze? So I was looking at this one a little bit. The short ratio wasn't anything crazy. I'm pulling up the short float right now. If we look at their chart, ACB finished up around 7% today, which is awesome. Their short float is only around 14% right now. So it's not like, it's nowhere near like GME levels where the short float is over 100% or anything like that. So, the short float, it's around 14%. It's not a crazy amount. There might be a little bit of a short squeeze if it starts to run up, but with the way it's moving right now, I don't see a huge risk of a short squeeze. So yeah, what do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think that ACB has reverse split in the past, so I think that that's why you see that on ACB. We can see it did have a 1 to 12 reverse split a long time ago on May 11th of 2020, so that's a pretty big thing. So about a year ago, we saw that split happen, and I think that that's why people are shorting this so much. ACB was having a lot of problems actually finding profitability after Canada legalized marijuana, and they were running out of supply and stuff like that at a really bad time. So that's why that happened. But overall, I think ACB might recover here. It's just one of those companies where you don't really know what's going to go on because they reverse split in the past. So hopefully they can find some good profitability. But if they can't, it might just keep going down. And I think that's why people are shorting it and why they're talking about it like that.
Sounds great. And then we have a lot of people talking about Netflix, like Hunter especially. Let's take a look at Netflix. Overall, it finished down on the day around 7.5% because of that earnings report yesterday. It's not looking great either way. If it continues to fall, I'll definitely do some cash secured puts on it. But right now, it's just it's kind of like in a tough spot if you're looking to day trade it, or I'm not sure like what you're looking to do, Hunter. But right now, it kind of looks like a similar setup to Peloton. It fell initially on Monday, and it kind of just consolidated a little bit and then started to continue down. That's what it looks like for Netflix right now. The main way I would consider playing it is if it does continue to fall, I'll just sell some really far out of the money puts. Worst case scenario, I'll buy shares at a really low price. And in the best case scenario, Netflix will fall a little bit. I'll keep my premium and then still have the ability to buy some shares at a low price.
Yeah, for sure. And $500 is going to, I think, poses a pretty big support tomorrow intraday. So if you see it bounce off of $100, or I mean $500 at open, and then make a good move back to the upside, you might want to get some calls on it and maybe really quickly trade that bounce back up. But if you see it fall below 500, watch for it to possibly retest all the way back down to 480. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it, given how bad that subscriber change was. So it's just a pretty big factor with this stock. And like you said, sometimes they just pop back up like this because they fell so much that it just has to almost come back up. And then we just see it as a couple of days go on, we'll kind of see it come back down and retest those lows. And I kind of have a feeling that tomorrow we're going to kind of see that with Netflix. So just watch out for it. It might continue to the downside.
Yeah, 500 is a pretty strong support level too. So if it does break below that, definitely watch out. It is a pretty strong support. But Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or anything you're looking out for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm really watching a bunch of those stocks like PLTR. What's the other one Kathy bought here? DraftKings, DKNG. There's a whole bunch of different ones. I actually have an article here. She loads up on DraftKings, Coinbase, Palantir. She sells off Nvidia and Square, which was pretty interesting to see. Nvidia is pretty high though, so that was probably pretty smart by her. But it's just interesting to see these articles with what Cathie Wood is doing. And like we showed on that website earlier, you can actually see what's going on that website. But the big news is that she loaded up on DraftKings, Coinbase, and Palantir. So really look out for those. I think DraftKings bounced off an amazing support on the daily level. We saw it come all the way down right around that $54, $55 level area. And then on Palantir, we saw it come to 21. So it's just amazing times. And also there's some good deals with Palantir. DraftKings even made a deal with Tom Brady's wife, Gisele Bundchen. I may not have pronounced her last name correctly, but it's Gisele. And she's pretty popular, and they did rise pretty significantly today off of that news, and just rose with the overall market, and they're off of support. So just watch out. I think it's going to be a pretty good next couple weeks for these stocks that have kind of really been dipping down over the past couple months.
It seems like every day DraftKings announces a new deal, whether it's with the UFC or WrestleMania or, whoever, the NFL. It seems like they're always making deals, which should be great for the long term. I'm a huge fan of them. But overall, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to trade the exact options as Tom and I every single day trades, swing trades, and access to our bots, you can click the first link in the description down below, and you'll save about $40. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our new live trading channel. The link is in the description down below. Tom and I have been going live every single morning before market open. Feel free to join us, ask questions, and just hang out. But besides that, thanks for watching.